We'll go back to the soul's journey, right? So the Gita is a very special text for those who don't know it. It's a discourse between master and student. Master is represented by Lord Krishna, the Guru within, the light within all of us, or that energy reincarnated on earth, and the student representing all of us. The journey through life. And for those who weren't here for the last few sessions, I cover it in depth. It's on the internet. I think Kamala and Shanti know the TV channels on. To cover the beginning, I explain the whole background of the Gita, which we'll be studying the next few months. The reason being, the living Gita means song, the song of life, the song of the soul. The Gita is all of our journeys. During our life, we all go through heavy battles. Battles that we don't want. And we don't want to fight. We don't want to hurt anyone. We don't want to cause pain. But many times in our life, whether we like it or not, the battle keeps coming back. We keep saying, no, 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 just let it go, just let it go, just let it go. Comes back and comes back and comes back. Till we have the courage. Till we have the courage and the faith to face it. I'll give you a simple example in modern day. Battered women, and today I see battered men as well. It's not only women that get battered anymore. Some men tell me the wives actually hit them and beat them up. So, it's a new age. We come to a new age. So, and they take it because they feel they should take it. And they feel, okay, this is what's come to me, it's my dharma, it's my karma, I must accept. So they accept, and they accept, until they're beaten black and blue, and they accept. Come here, Beata, you'll be uncomfortable there, you can sit next to Gita here. Until they can't live anymore, and they destroy all the lives around them. So one day, they have to take up the battle, and they fight. And it's only when they fight with love, when they fight with strength, when they fight not because they want to hurt or cause revenge, but they fight to preserve that which is worth preserving, which is the human spirit, your mind. If you don't look after your mind and yourself, how on earth are you going to look after anybody else? You know, the Bible says, love thy neighbor as thyself. So if you can't even love you and you think you're not worthy of being treated well or treated kindly, then why should anybody treat you well or treat you kindly? Haven't you known those are the people that suffer the most? Haven't you noticed that those who take on the victim role and say, poor me, are those that keep getting battered? Haven't you noticed that those who say, I'm really a good person, why does this happen to me? Keep getting hit over and over again because they lack strength. To believe that they too have the light within and they too deserve to be happy. And everybody, this is what I said in the beginning, I loved about my Guru. It's your birthright to be happy. But you don't have to scream and shout in order to get your way. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. It creates more stress. Fire does not put out a fire. Water puts out a fire. So until you make yourself peaceful, strong, elegant in your speech, make your speech truthful, compassionate, and don't take on the battle, because your battle will be made out of revenge, and that doesn't work. There's a lovely story I read the other day. May I share it with you? There was this great samurai in Japan, and he was very famous, and he had this huge ego, because everywhere he went, people would be, oh, this great samurai. And then he heard from many, many wise people, you must become more spiritual now. This is the gift from the gods. You cannot abuse this gift. You must give gratitude. And then he goes to people who say, I really want to know what heaven and hell are. I really want to know that. So this friend of his said, oh, there's a monk that lives in the mountains. Go to him. He will tell you what heaven and hell are. So he goes to this monk. He walks there with his sword and his samurai. And he goes, monk, I hear you can talk to me about heaven and hell. Teach me. And the monk answers him, teach you? Why should I teach you? You're rude, you're arrogant, you've got a huge ego. I have no desire to teach you. Leave here, get away from here, go away. And he goes, what kind of monk are you? And he takes his samurai sword about to hurt him. And then the monk looks at him like this and goes, that's hell. Puts his sword down and he sits on the ground and he does. That's heaven. Mm-hmm. When we bow down to our inner self in humility and have the ability to accept and learn, we experience an opening. It's like a flower. We just blossom because most of the time we think we know it all. We think we know it all. Oh yes, I know. Many students come to me. Oh, I've come to you for advice, but I know and I laugh and I guess you don't need my advice then. Don't need my advice if you know why you're sitting here. Many times people come and say, why do you sit when you're giving me a 1-hour lecture on what you know? You know, you don't need me. Go. No, Nalanie. Then practice a little humility. Admit you don't know, and then we can start. If you can admit you're wrong, well, I don't believe in right or wrong anyway. I just think everything is a learning. I don't see right or wrong anyway. But if you admit that you're a little bit arrogant, then you can learn. You can get a little humble, And when you learn, haven't you noticed there's a joy that enters your heart? There is. When you really receive knowledge. And for me, real knowledge is the knowledge that will stay with you beyond the body. All the other knowledge is gonna, guess what? When you die, stay behind. There's a lovely story by a 6th century, Shankaracharya was a great 6th century saint. He wrote many, many books. And his philosophy was really quite incredible. Like Lord Jesus, he died at a very young age of 33. There are many similarities in these scriptures. Anyway, Shankaracharya went around all the villages to expound the knowledge of the Vedas. Vedas means scriptures of truth. And he passes this village and there is an 80-year-old man and he's studying grammar rules and he's out in his patio and he's studying all these grammar rules. And he goes to him, is it at 80? You're getting stressed out about grammar rules and you're getting upset and you want to learn? Are you blind? Can you not see that the next step will be your grave? So why not use this time and study about who you are and your spirit? And many of us are blind. We cannot see. It's almost like we have blindfolds on. Death is staring us straight in the face and we deny that it even is it is our only end journey. It's the only one we can be sure of. So we live like we're going to live forever. And we don't pay attention to things that are really important. We pay attention, a lot of attention, to minute, unimportant things on a daily level. So unimportant. We become so selfish with I need, I want. These things are so irrelevant. I keep repeating all the time, every week, you cannot even take one piece of hair with you when you die. So who are you? What are you? And the real philosophy of yoga is living who you are in a human body as best as you can, with much peace as you can, and with much joy and laughter. And that is yoga. Finding your light within and bringing the light out, sharing it with others. When you have something delicious, like a delicious brownie, and if you just eat it, you just get fat and awful, right? But if you have a delicious brownie and you have a few, and you share it with people, you all enjoy it together. It's much more fun. So when you have light, share it. Many people, when they have light, they want to keep it to themselves. And that just the act of, it's mine. Do you see, you're always in fear. What if you know more than me? What if you're smarter than me? You're always in fear. Somebody's going to be better than you. Somebody will always be better than you, guaranteed. And somebody will always be worse than you, guaranteed. So why do you worry so much about savoring that knowledge? Share it. And then the light awakens in you. The more you share, the more comes in. More comes in, you have more space. The more greed you have, the less space you have to receive. Because greed, fear, are things that occupy. You see, it's really very scientific. So scientific. That's why I love yoga. It's so scientific. Greed, anger, I have to have this. These are the desires that occupy the space in your mind that can be used for other things that are more creative. We're human beings. We're born to be creative. We have gifts, all of us. I haven't met one person in my life yet that doesn't have a gift. And I'm talking about special needs too, because now I have a special needs granddaughter, and she has a gift. She walks in the room and everybody's full of love and compassion. They just want to hug her because she's so cute. And she has a gift because Annie struggled. She asked me for years. I can't understand how when a divine power, such a great divine power, could create handicapped children. And when she saw Talia with us, and she said, I now understand, right? That she's not a handicapped child, she's a gift. And just that teaching. See, so everybody has a gift. Sometimes it's actually a gift not to be able to speak so people can feel your energy. When you speak too much prana goes out. Better to listen. Learn to listen to the earth, the water. Everything talks to you. Shakespeare was brilliant, wasn't he? He wrote about all those sounds he heard, and pixies and fairies. And we all read his books and we love his plays. How many like Shakespeare? Yeah, I love Shakespeare. If you haven't read Shakespeare, it's difficult to read unless you go to school and taught it because of the old language. But nowadays the modern books are brilliant. But, he was deeply spiritual. He learned to listen to life. And the Bhagavagita is that battle that we all go through in life. All of us. And the whole book is about how to deal with your battles, how to go into battle, how to go into life, how to go into the joy of being. Problems you're all going to have, guaranteed. Nobody is exempt. Guaranteed. So know that. And how are you going to get through your problems? What other solutions are you going to apply to those problems? So the Bhagavad Gita starts off by telling Arjuna, okay, you're the warrior, you don't want to go into battle because you don't want to hurt the people you love most. But too bad, this battle has come to you, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, you're a warrior. Your duty is to protect your people. So now, stop complaining, be brave, and win this battle. And get righteousness back on track. Because as humans, we have a responsibility in this human world of chaos, to infuse it with goodness and righteousness. If we don't protect righteousness and goodness, what hope do our children and grandchildren have? They have no hope. So this is our duty. The fact that all of you are in this room, it's nothing to do with me, it's to do with you. You already know this is your duty. Now how to accomplish your duty? That's the Gita, and that's why I love this text so much. So he goes, stop all the nonsense, stop saying I can't, but this, but that. Okay, this is your battle. First of all, understand who you are. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Do you know? Anybody?
Divine, spirit.
Okay, you're a spirit, you're divine. Correct. So as spirit, as divinity, how long are you on this earth for? Do you know? So are you really this personality in this body?
No.
Thank you. So you are on loan to you. Got it? So because you are on loan to you, you are a gift to you. Got it? Did you hear that? You don't belong to you, really. You belong to your spirit. And the Gita is telling here, the master is telling the student, start to recognize the light within you. You are the spirit, but you're getting confused now. You're getting scared because you have to deal in the physical world. So watch that. This is just a play. Don't get so serious about the world. So first thing you have to know is that you are spirit. Second, the energy comes in from you. And in life, these things do happen. When you're on earth, there will be pleasure and pain. There will be hot and cold. There will be all these things. Opposites, male, female, white, black. Because we live in a world of duality. Know it. Be very clear. This exists. But learn to patiently endure it. Learn to patiently endure it. Then he goes on to say that you can learn from scriptures. But once you have the knowledge, then scriptures are not even useful. They're not useful. They're like maps. Do not get hung up on any Bible or scripture. Spirituality is much more. All these books are great to guide us. You know, you need a map to go to Madrid. But once you got there, you don't need the map to go to Madrid. You now will look for another map, which is internal Madrid. But can you imagine if you got to Madrid and you're still looking for the map to go to Madrid? You will never enjoy Madrid. You'll be going always on the outskirts. Are you seeing? So this is what it's saying. He says, you can learn from the scriptures, but remember, practical use of the knowledge, is what will give you your peace and the ability and the strength to face your problems. So be practical, he tells him right away. You can read as many books as you want. Great, you become smart. That doesn't help you. Use practical knowledge. And Shanti, do you know where I finished last week?
Chapter 2, about 45, the bottom of that page.
Are there any questions?
Look from 45.
Okay. Yes, I got it. Okay. I didn't bring my glasses. Lakshmi, do you have yours? Because I remember I can use yours. Thank you.
I think so.
Thank you. Oh, and by the way, let me introduce you to Lakshmi and Jagrati. She's our vice chair in the Gibraltar Yoga Center and helps me run the place alongside with Jagrati accompanying her to run the center there. So thank you very much, both of you, for coming. So, and he says, so now Krishna, the master, is speaking to the student. And he says, as for you, do the work that comes to you, but don't look for the results. Don't be motivated by the fruits of your actions, nor become attached to inaction. I think I covered this last week, but I'll cover it quickly. Do the work that comes so naturally to you. You know, all of us know this kind of work that you love to do. And sometimes we're so fearful to do the work that we love to do because we start to worry, oh, I'm not going to make enough money, or what if this happens, or what if I fail, what people say I'm crazy because I'm following this path, I must be mad, but my heart tells me I should do it, but fear doesn't allow you to do it. And he's saying, you do the work that comes naturally to you. Don't worry about the results. The result is, but what if? But what if this doesn't happen, Nalanie? But what if? But what if I do it this way and that? We don't know but what if. Does anybody know the future? Or you can go to 100 mediums if you want to, and thousands of people do. And I tell you, so many of them, they can't determine your life. How many have been wrong? And how many have been right? But then you're following what they say. You don't know whether it's your mind or whether it's really you. What do you want? Do you want others to guide you, or do you want to guide yourself from within? Do you want the highest light, or do you want the light that comes from somebody else? Yes, it can give you some light, but look for your highest light. I think that light can play. How can you? Thank you. If you can't just blow it out, it keeps. I know, I bought a too big a candle. I tried to cut it, and it gets a little bit angry today. Thank you. Thank you. So, what was I saying? Do you remember?
Like with like going for guidance outside rather than in.
Yeah, you know, I always think, you know, these mediums are great, whatever, if you have a real problem and you can't get through and you just one time do it. But what I have seen in my life, people become too dependent, it's like another drug. It's another drug. It's useful when it's necessary. You know, you take Panadol when you're in great pain. It's there for that reason. But you don't take the drug every day, because what will happen is the muscles won't get used to using itself. You won't practice yourself within. It's too easy. Oh, this person told me that. And probably they're right. But what do? You take it home and then you magnify it by thinking about it over and over and over. And maybe if you hadn't been, you would have the problem and you'll find a solution yourself. You will have to find a solution yourself. But now somebody else has told you what to do, you start to listen to that somebody else. So what happens? You've lost your own power. Then you become fearful. When you lose your power, you become fearful. Haven't you noticed? But when you have your power, which is divine, it's the same power for all of us, you do become strong. So here it's just saying, don't be motivated by what people tell you or what people predict. If I listened to the medium told me that I would be married to somebody with the letters B and R, my husband has had SC, shaky Chellaram. Where's the B and where's the R?
And you could still be waiting.
I could still be waiting. But I know people that do that.
Put their lives on hold.
Oh, yes, correct. I know. And I go, don't do that. And I tell them their story. So if I believed it, and this was supposed to be the top medium in Bangkok, Thailand, she was never wrong. Also, Shani will tell you when my husband was passing, my sister-in-laws told me that their gurus, their masters had said, there is no way that my husband was going to pass away. After February, he was going to be fine. Guaranteed, they're never wrong, right, Shani? And I said, no, and we see the signs. We know the signs. So we are going to prepare husband ourselves for his passing, so it could be beautiful. Thank God we had the wisdom to listen to ourselves. Thank God, because we could prepare him and he could prepare us, and we could be strong together and work together on this very important transition from this body to the next. We could all work on it, and we did. And his passing was so peaceful. We couldn't believe it, because the doctor told us with the cancer he had with lungs and was in machines, that he would not have an easy death. Wrong again. She said his nature, the way he passed, the peace he possessed, and the way we all worked together with him, allowed him to pass beautifully. So you see, you can change your life by the way you think. So maybe some things are in your destiny. Some things are there. But by the way you think, you can change your destiny. You can't change the fact that that bad thing has happened to you, but you can change the way you react to it. That's the secret of yoga. You can change the way you react to it. If I hadn't had the science of yoga, I think I'd be still crying today and miserable today. I'm very grateful for the science to get myself on my feet and start again. And I knew the tools. Get back to work. Don't feel sorry for yourself. That happens to everyone. You're not being picked on. So I could repeat the tools in my dark days. And you do go through dark days. We all do. That's normal. Everybody goes through this. And I question myself again and again, how do people do it when they don't have the knowledge? How do they do it? How do they go through this horrendous pain? That's why majority of people take Valiums. It's the first thing the doctor offered me. First thing, do you want an injection? Do you want a Valium? You seem very much in love with your husband. You work with him every single... You need it. No, thank you. No, thank you. I have to deal with this. I don't need anything. I don't need anything. I have the highest gift, which is my light within, the Guru within. And I'll stick to that. And I advise you, please do that. Much easier. I have met many women and men since that have lost a partner. And they've gone into medication. Now there's the second journey of the addiction, the fear of not falling asleep at night. That fear is with them. You see, I just didn't sleep for a few weeks, and after that you sleep. You get tired enough, you're going to sleep one day. You just have to go through those 8 days or 9 days of no sleep, and the 10th day you'll be so tired, you have to sleep. And once you sleep once, you can sleep. But people who don't sleep 1 or 2 days and start taking medication just get to let it go. What if I don't sleep? Big deal. You can meditate, you can pray, you can read, you can laugh, you can do many things in one night. You can make yourself so tired that you fall asleep the next day, okay? So here, very simply, it's saying, do that comes, and don't look for the results. Don't be motivated by that. But also, don't be attached to inaction. Inaction. Many times, and I think all of you know this, I'm sure, look at your faces, yes, you guys have gone through it. There comes a time when I really don't like this situation. I've tried this, I've tried all the different solutions. I've tried again and again and again and again. I've tried everything. You know what? Safest. Let me be peaceful. I won't do anything about it. I'll just leave it. If I leave it, it'll go away. It'll go away. It doesn't go away. I'm so sorry to tell you that. It won't go away. It keeps coming back till you deal with it. So here it says, don't be attached to inaction, because it's also sometimes a nice solution. Yeah? I don't have to do anything. See, the scriptures say peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. So I'll be peaceful. But you're not inside, there's still that battle. Real peace is when there's no inner battle. You might even be shouting outside. I've watched my guru tell people off in public sometimes, and he's angry. He's not angry. He turns around and he starts laughing. He uses it as a tool. And that's how anger should be used, as a tool. You shouldn't really be angry. You can pretend to be angry. Anger takes a lot out of you. It takes what we call prana. Prana is your energy. So precious. And in order to go through battles, you need a lot of prana. You need prana. Don't give it away so easily. It's your gift. When people talk too much, they give a lot of prana. When they do too much, they give a lot of prana out. So learn to preserve. That's why when I go on retreats now, tomorrow we're going in a car with a few people. I've already said, you can come in my car. But when I say don't talk, don't talk. Because I need silence. Because I have to talk. So during the day, I like to talk as little as possible. Even my emails are two lines most of the time. I'm sorry, folks. People expect long answers, you won't get them. So it's because you like to preserve energy. What you need to say can be said in one line. You don't need to go on and on and on and on. All right? So learn to preserve energy. Preserve your energy. And the next sutra, how are we doing for time? 5 to 7. Okay. I won't take too long today because I thought I just like each one of you to go, this is a talking stick. I call it a walking talking stick. This was given to me by a wonderful woman when I was in America. She's an American Indian, and she made this. And she put all the little stones in it. She lives in the ashram in Yogaville. And my master often touched this and, mentioned how beautiful it was. As you can see, there's a crystal there. And she gave it to me to share with everyone. She said, I really want to give it to you. And I was really very touched. And that day, when she gave it to me, we passed it around. Shanti, you were there, right? With me in the States. Mm-hmm. And everybody that felt it just said what they felt. It was cool. So we'll pass it around just a little, if you don't mind. Would you mind? Say whatever you want. You don't have to say anything that makes any sense or whatever you want to say. You just say it. Don't even think about what you're going to say. Let's see if you know how to perform without practice. You know why I want you to learn to do that? Because practice, of course, if you have to go and do a performance, sometimes you have to practice. Very hard. But many times we perform and we don't know who we are. We perform for the sake of others, thinking this is how they would like us to be or appear. It's not really who we are. So sometimes it's just nice to be yourself without fear. You can't do it all the time, but you certainly can do it in this room and nobody will take you badly. Can't do that in the world, they may misunderstand you. Because sometimes you have to be a little careful. Let's go on. Oh, I think the next... No, that's next week. It's really interesting. It gets really good, this. It says, equanimity of mind is yoga. Do everything, Arjuna, centered in that equanimity. Renouncing all attachments, you'll enjoy an undisturbed mind in success or failure. Equanimity means balance. Balance is yoga. Balance in your mind is yoga. Not too much, not too little. Everything in balance. And what keeps you in balance is your attachments. This is mine. How dare you? I owned it. My car, you put a scratch on it. How dare you? I said, all attachments. Mine, mine, mine. That disturbs your balance. Oh, my car got scratched. No big deal. No big deal. It's really not a big deal. Anybody could have scratched it. This is life. Some days you pass, some days you fail. And it says, when you enjoy this kind of peace, you will be undisturbed in success or failure. Most of us petrified of failure. And children today, I don't know what's wrong with them. So many young kids are so scared of making a mistake. So they freeze. And so you have to teach them better to fail and learn than not to do it at all. They get attached to, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. What if I do it badly? So I won't do it. So, and this is all attachment. And our attachments keep us prisoners. So, keep a peaceful mind. Okay, one day I pass, one day I fail. I had lots of lessons, and I'm sure many of you in this room as well have lessons in failure. I remember, I'm very, very grateful. No. You're lucky. You don't fail. You're blessed, a blessed life. sometimes a combination of arrogance comes. This, I give you an example of my own life, and maybe you can, you can associate it in your mind with your own lives. When I was young, I was very shy at home and with people, but in school, I flourished. For some reason, I loved school. And so anyway, I was asked for my school, to do poetry reading and speech reading. There were 99 schools taking part. So I was chosen for my school in Hong Kong, and I was like, wow, I worked so hard with the teachers, 3-4 months to read the poem perfectly. And I prayed so hard. I always prayed, I love praying. Oh dear God, please don't let me let my school down. Excuse me. They chose me. Please let me bring honor to my school. So what happened was, I got there and I actually got first. First place for 90 schools in Hong Kong. So my school was really happy, we celebrated. Second year, without even testing, I got in. First one to be chosen to read for the school. And again, I worked hard, not as hard as the first year, but I worked hard. I got second place. School was very happy. Again, lots of trophy for my school. The third year, guess what? I got a little bit arrogant. I really did. I was chosen to be, head of school, head this. Easy. I didn't practice. 2 days before, looked it over. Went to the reading. Again, I was chosen. And of course, I got nowhere. I was ashamed. I looked failure. Excuse me, I gotta take a my throat. And what I learned was, I got attached to my success. I actually got attached to my success, which became for me the worst thing in the world because it gave me a huge ego. And as a result, I failed. And I cried so much. I remember crying so much at home because I felt so ashamed, because I knew it was my attitude. And I was very, very, very grateful. I remember I was only 13 or 14, I was very grateful for failing because I realized, because I was embarrassed for my school, you see, they had so much faith in me, I let them down. And it taught me a great lesson. After that, I never got arrogant about any positioning that I got. Good lessons learned when so young. I was grateful. See, many of us get lessons in our life like that, similar to mine, with different situations. But sometimes we don't learn from them, so they keep coming back again and again and again. My advice to you is learn from them. Like that samurai, become humble and discover heaven. I let too many people down because of my arrogance. So success or failing. And after that, I did a lot for the school till I was 17. After that, I wasn't attached to either. People would tell me in the school play, oh, you did really well. And I said, okay. Oh, you didn't do that well. Okay, I'll work harder. It wasn't so powerful in my mind. So sometimes these things that happen to us are really good lessons. So when you get a lesson like that and you fail and you feel really horrible, don't hide yourself to inaction. I'm never going to do it again. No, go out and do it again. Don't be attached to failure or success. Just say, this is a job I have to do. I'll do it to the best of my ability. That's it. And then you have peace. Okay? And you have peace. Some people will love you and some people won't like you. Sorry, that's life. That really is life. And it doesn't matter in the long run. In the end, everybody loves you because everybody will be spirit. So why worry? So, work done for the sake of some results is much lower than that done in the mental equilibrium, Arjuna. Wretched are those motivated by the fruits of their actions. Work done for the sake of some results is much lower than done in the mental equilibrium. That means if, many people do work and they do it because they want a praise, or they want somebody to say good on you, or they want some kind of recognition. He's just saying that that kind of work is lower. When you really do the work in your mental, peaceful mind, the work that's really important is the work in your mind. The balance in your mind. That is much more important than the physical work that you are doing. Why? Because the mind, your thoughts, can travel much further than a physical action. Radio waves can be picked up by anyone. But the man in the studio that puts on the record can only be seen by somebody in the studio. His song and his voice will go everywhere. Same thing, our thoughts, when we work on our thoughts, it's far more, it's a higher work than working out there in the world to show how good you are, to prove to the world what you are and who you are. Anyway, when you work with higher thoughts, your actions will also be good. Cannot be anything else. So you don't need to worry about your actions if your thoughts are high, because the actions will follow the thoughts. But many people will do the actions in their head, oh my God, you didn't notice me, or blah, 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 don't you, all this mental chatter. So it's not bad, it's just not as high in quality. That's right. And we'll finish with this one. The one who has trained the mind to stay centered in equanimity in this life has cast aside both good and evil karma. Therefore, by all means, practice yoga. Perfection in action is yoga. This is one of the most famous slokas in the Bhagavagita that a lot of business people use all over the world. Perfection in action is yoga. When you perfect your action in anything you do, you are practicing yoga. And what is perfection in action? When you do that which you have to do with total peace, total focus, that action becomes so pure. It's not even, he says, you pass good or bad, it's not even about good or bad. It's purity of the action. You do for the sake of it, perfectly, perfection in action. The mind is not, if I do this, all the chatter. It's just doing the job at hand, totally focused. And then you'll do it really well. Perfection in action is yoga. And that's what he's saying there. So, practice yoga, practice. And then you will see there's really no good or bad. It's all about learning. It took me a lot of years to understand that. A lot of years. Meditation, studying, reading spiritual books. Before, in my life, I was very judgmental. Very extreme. This is wrong and this is right. This person went off with this person, that's wrong. And now, I just don't see any of that anymore. People do things happen because there's something to fix or something that needs changing. I don't know why. All I know that there is a solution to every problem. And always face your problem with kindness, compassion. Don't base it on selfishness. Selfishness is an attachment to what you want again. Do you belong to you? That's why we say selflessness for the highest good for everyone around you. Hard to do. But if you really think about it, when you do something just for you to make you happy and it makes everybody else unhappy, it's very difficult to get peace. Very difficult. So this is a big dilemma, and there's a lot of paradox in what I'm saying. This is why I really advise everybody to know yourself. Because what is right for one person is not right for another person. And the Gita it says very clearly, one man's nectar is another man's poison. So what may be right for me may not be right for you. What is good for my body may be terrible for your body. For example, I use coffee as an example, okay? I was giving a retreat in Germany many years ago in a Buddhist retreat center. And I'd actually told my hostess who invited me, do you mind having some coffee for me? So, I'd been teaching for 3 days, and on the last day, non-stop, I was the only teacher there, so it was like, those days I had to talk for 8 hours. Thank God I don't do that anymore. I'm getting too old. So, anyway, we got really close, the group got dynamic. The last day, I had breakfast with all of them. So, of course, I got my coffee. All the people that know me for 3 days and were this close and with so much love and joy suddenly looked at me with shock. And of course, sometimes the universe is very kind. I can read their minds, so I looked at my coffee, it's my coffee, and I started laughing. You're a yogi, why are you drinking coffee? And I laughed. I said, yes, coffee may be poison for you, but it's medicine for me. Nalanie, how could you say that? All the books say you should not drink coffee. I said, you know, I'm an asthmatic. So what has that got to do with it? Well, for asthmatics, you know, you need your adrenaline to go, for the body to circulate and the breath to circulate. But in asthmatics in childhood, coffee works on your adrenal glands. So rather than have 2 puffs of Ventolin, I take the coffee, which is the best of the 2 evils. Yes. I said, now your body is perfectly functioning, you have no problems with circulation, you're not asthmatic, you take coffee, and you'll and you'll have all those awful results. And then they looked at me and they all said, I'm really sorry, we judged you. I said, no, this all happened because you have to learn in life. We really don't know. We really don't know what is good for someone, what is bad for someone. And I laugh because many years later, I saw a video of my master with his master. And my master had traveled all over India, met lots of saints and sages, and still didn't find his master until he came to Master Shivananda. And when he went to Master Shivananda up in the Himalayas, and if you haven't read Shivananda, you must. He's amazing. So he went to Master Shivananda, Himalayas, and Master Shivananda was always laughing and singing, and he's sitting there and he goes, you come to see me. Would you like a coffee? And then he goes, coffee? You go to there and goes, coffee? You're drinking coffee? He goes, you don't want me to drink coffee? I won't drink coffee. I won't drink coffee. He goes, what do you want me to do? Sit and go, and then he goes, no, Master Shivananda, be yourself. And and I saw that and I laughed because it was kind of like the experience, and then I saw that later on. And Master Shivananda was one of these masters, and I've heard a tape of it. He died, I think, 1950, 54, 56, I'm not sure. And he's all day in his ashram. He used to sing, serve, love, give, meditate, realize, be good to good, be kind and be compassionate, inquire who art thyself and be free, accept, adjust, accommodate, bear insult, bear injury, highest sadhana. Highest practice, bear insult, bear injury. Why? Somebody insults you and equanimity of mind is yoga. Stay quiet, stay still. But you gotta stay still with love and strength. If you stay still out of fear, you haven't learned equanimity of mind. That's inaction. You see the difference? It's a big difference. Learn it. And many people pretend to be peaceful. And they're not really peaceful inside. You do not deserve that. If you're going to find peace, go for it truthfully. Go to your heart and find out, does this make me fearful? Why am I fearful? Why am I fearful? Who are you fearful of? Everybody's going to die just like you. Nobody's better than you. Nobody is better than you. What are you frightened of? Who's going to punish you? You think there's a God in heaven going to punish you? Well, I don't know that God. Maybe you do. You can have him. I don't want it. The God I know is balanced and loving and kind, as the Upanishad says, the Lord of love. That is that divine energy. And how do you know that to be true? Practice it in your life. Practice one day of just loving. See how great you feel. See how great you feel, and then you can prove it to yourself. Practice every day in the morning, filling your mind with blessings and gratitude and beauty and joy. Practice it for 5 minutes every day. Notice how your week changes. What is the point? Telling people how good you are. Be really good. Practice it. Anyway, in the end, nobody really cares if you're good or evil. You're going to face yourself at your deathbed. You're going to talk to yourself. You have to answer to yourself. So be ready to answer to yourself. And if you live in fear, you will die in fear. Do you want to die like that? You have to get another body to learn it all over again? What a waste of a beautiful life. So make this, my house is called Casa Bella Vida. My son chose the name. And I love the name because I think yoga is living a beautiful life. And my wish for everybody who walks through these rooms, that you all live a beautiful life. A beautiful life to be who you are. And of course, when you do that, you will be faced with battles. There will be jealousy. People will see your strength and try to bring you down. Do not allow it. Build up your spiritual force. Build up your spiritual strength. Remember why you're doing it, to live a good life, so that you can spread a lot of light and be examples to your children and your grandchildren of what goodness can do, what compassion can do, what love can do, how it can shift the world. Be that one person that changes your entire family. Do not ask what your family can do for you. I'm adapting Kennedy's words. Ask what you can do for your family. And if they don't want what you do, okay, that's their loss. Not your problem. Don't get attached to that. They don't want you. They don't want you, fine. Then go find yourself. Find who you are. Love who you are. You have a right. And that is living a beautiful life. And then you don't want to hurt anyone or anything anyway, because you're so happy. Why would you want to hurt anybody else? There's no reason to. There is no reason to. And make it. Practice till you get there. Do not lose hope. Trust yourself. That's the secret. That's why all the great saints and sages say, if you have complete faith, you can always
is impossible.
Thank you. So with that, my advice is please start meditating 5 minutes every morning.